Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, representatives from the persons with disabilities sector in Albay took part in 3 major summits promoting inclusive leadership and governance. The group joined the Provincial Women's Summit in Malilipot, where discussions highlighted equality from the perspective of women with disabilities. They also attended the Regional Basic Sector Coordinating Council meeting of the National Anti-Poverty Commission in Legazpi City, focusing on collaboration and inclusive governance. On the national level, they participated in the Global Disability Philippines Summit for Partners in Manila, supported by Australian Aid and CBM, emphasizing local action for global inclusion goals. Albay PWD Affairs Officer Anisita Obion joined the events in support of the sector's efforts to ensure full participation in development initiatives. In other story, the Office of Civil Defense Region 5 has commended the Albay Public Safety and Emergency Management Office for its leadership in disaster preparedness and training programs. ABSEMO received a plaque of commendation during the Regional Program Implementation Review held in Legazpi City. Office of Civil Defense praised ABSEMO for its expertise in implementing DRRM training courses and capacitating officials down to the barangay level. The recognition also highlighted the Incident Command System All Hazards training that equipped responders with skills to lead multi-agency operations during emergencies. ABSEMO reaffirmed its commitment to continue local DRRM initiatives that build resilience and community participation across Albay. In other news, students from several schools in Albay joined a symposium promoting rabies prevention and animal welfare. The event featured discussions on responsible pet ownership and the youth's role in creating rabies-free communities. Student leader Eliezer Aktub said the activity inspired them to take part in public awareness efforts. He reminded co-students that caring for pets also means securing permits and reporting stray animals. The program supports Albay's goal of building safer, more informed communities. In the national scene, the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, CAAP, expects that at least 5.8 million passengers to travel this year in observance of All Saints and Souls Day. According to CAAP, this figure covers the travel period from October to November, marking an increase of 1 million passengers compared to last year's 4.8 million. In preparation for the surge of travelers this Undas 2025, CAAP has placed all airports nationwide on heightened alert. Malasakit help desks have been set up to assist passengers. Security measures have been tightened and medical teams are now on standby. Ensuring smooth and efficient operations, CAAP has partnered with the Philippine National Police Aviation Security Unit, the Office for Transportation Security, the Department of Tourism, the Civil Aeronautics Board, and various airline operators. In a statement, CAAP Director General Paul Del Rosario directed all area managers to strictly enforce safety and security protocols across all airports. He also reminded travelers to cooperate and follow airport guidelines to avoid delays and disruptions that could affect other passengers. This initiative supports the Department of Transportation's Upland Biyaheng Ayos Undas 2025, which will run from October 30 to November 4. In other story, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and his cabinet will release their statements of asset, liabilities, and net worth silence only to proper authorities, following the rules set by the Office of the Ombudsman. This clarification came from Palace Press Officer Claire Castro after questions were raised about remarks made by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin. Bersamin earlier said that the public should not have indiscriminate freedom to access the silence of government officials. Bersamin stressed that journalists or any other individuals must have a legitimate reason before they can request a redacted copy of these documents. However, several lawmakers were quick to criticize his statement. They argued that if the Marcos administration is serious about its campaign against corruption, it should lead by example and make the president's and cabinet members' silence available for public review. In response, Castro said that the president and his cabinet will fully comply with the Ombudsman's guidelines, which allow authorized officers to review the silence but limit public access for privacy and security reasons. Castro explained that this does not mean Malacanang is hiding anything. She also confirmed that cabinet members held an informal meeting over the weekend regarding this matter, on which they then agreed to follow the Ombudsman's memorandum and submit their silence as required. In other news, the Department of Finance and Bureau of Internal Revenue are processing higher tax-exempt limits for workers in both the public and private sectors. Under the plan, private employees could monetize up to 12 days of unused vacation leave, while government employees' uncapped leave benefits remain unchanged. Other proposed increases include higher medical allowances, rice subsidies, uniform and clothing allowances, laundry and meal allowances, and employee awards. Collective bargaining and productivity incentives would also see a higher ceiling. Finance Secretary Ralph Recto said that the changes would let workers bring home more income and ease daily expenses while having minimal impact on government revenues. The Department of Finance said that the proposal also accounts for inflation, supports Filipino families, and helps maintain competitiveness across sectors. And in the news outside the country, Timor-Leste has officially become the 11th member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, marking a historic milestone for the young nation. The announcement came Sunday, October 26, during the opening of the 47th ASEAN Summit. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and other regional leaders signed a formal declaration, while Timor-Leste's Prime Minister Kay Ralasanana Gusmao joined the traditional ASEAN handshake. The country's national flag was also added to the row of ASEAN member state flags, a moment celebrated with cheers and tears by Timorese media delegation. The government said joining ASEAN will bring new opportunities in trade, investment, education, and digital economy. Timor-Leste is the first country to join ASEAN in the 21st century following Cambodia's accession in 1999. Timor-Leste's path to membership has spanned more than 2 decades since regaining independence in 2002 after Portuguese colonization and 24 years of Indonesian occupation. The country applied for ASEAN membership in 2011 and became an observer in 2022. With a population of 1.5 million and a gross domestic product of $1.9 billion, Timor-Leste highlights its strategic location, strong democratic institutions, rich maritime resources, and youthful population as key contributions to the regional bloc. In other story, Thailand and Cambodia have signed a ceasefire to end a violent border conflict that erupted earlier this year. The agreement was signed in Malaysia during an ASEAN summit and includes the release of 18 Cambodian prisoners of war, the withdrawal of heavy weapons, and cooperation on landmine removal. ASEAN observers will be deployed to monitor the situation and ensure both sides adhere to the terms. The border clashes lasted 5 days, resulting in at least 48 deaths and forcing approximately 300,000 people to flee their homes. This ceasefire is seen as a significant step toward peace and stability in the region, providing relief to communities that have been greatly affected by the violence. U.S. President Donald Trump and Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim were present at the signing ceremony, adding international support to the agreement. Leaders hope that the deal will prevent further conflict and promote cooperation between the two neighboring countries. And finally, in the news outside the country, a total of 1,049 people, including 66 Filipinos, have escaped the KK Park scam compound in Mayawadi, Myanmar, and crossed into Thailand. The escape happened during military operations targeting Chinese-run scam hubs. Many victims were assisted by armed groups like the Democratic Karen Benevolent Army and Border Guard Force, with some handed over to the Karen National Union before crossing the Moy River into Mae Sot. The group includes 913 men and 136 women from 26 countries, with the largest numbers from India 399, China 147, Vietnam 138, Ethiopia 94, the Philippines 66, Pakistan 43, Thailand 31, and Indonesia 27. Authorities said all rescued individuals will go through a process to determine if they are trafficking victims. Meantime, dozens of Filipinos remain trapped in Mayawadi. Contact has been lost since last week, and they are reportedly sick, hungry, and afraid of being sent back to the scam centers. And that's all for the news at 12, October 28, 2025. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to all the news writer LJ Lurejo and Naomi Ruth Hernandez. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis. And our Provincial Information Officer OIC Marty Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor Noel Irusal, I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing.